Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Regina and I love makeup and Jesus. As we begin each day with a new mercy that the Lord has given us, let us remember His word. I believe that inner and outer beauty can coexist. So as we transform the outer woman, let's be even more vigilant about transforming the inner woman, making her look more and more like Christ. Trust is a foundational element in any relationship, whether it is with people or with God. When trust is broken in our human relationships, it can have pretty profound effects on our ability to trust others, including our trust in God. Firstly, trust is built on consistent and reliable behavior. When someone close to us breaks our trust, it can lead to feelings of betrayal and hurt. This emotional pain can cause us to become wary and skeptical of others, even those who haven't even wronged us. We might start to question the motives and the reliability of people around us, fearing that they too might break our trust. This skepticism can extend to our relationship with God. Just as we may find it difficult to trust new people after being betrayed, we might struggle to fully trust God. We may project our experiences with flawed human beings onto God, doubting His intentions and promises. The pain of betrayal can cloud our judgment and make it hard to believe in a benevolent and trustworthy God. Moreover, broken trust with people can lead to feelings of abandonment and isolation. When we are let down by those we depend on, it can feel like we are all alone in the world. This sense of isolation can make it challenging to feel connected to God. Trusting God often involves believing in His constant presence and support. However, if our experiences with people have led us to feel abandoned, we might find it difficult to believe that God is always with us. Additionally, trust in God requires vulnerability and openness. When we have been hurt by others, we may build emotional walls to protect ourselves from further pain. These walls can prevent us from being open and vulnerable with God, hindering our ability to fully trust and rely on Him. We might pray less, share less of our thoughts and feelings with God, and ultimately distance ourselves from Him. However, it is important to recognize that while human beings are fallible and capable of breaking trust, God is often perceived as infallible and wholly trustworthy. Rebuilding trust in God after being hurt by people can involve a conscious effort to differentiate between the imperfections of humans and the divine nature of God. It may require us to seek healing and reconciliation both with ourselves and with our perception of God. I generally have a low propensity to trust for a number of reasons. One being my personality. I am super self-aware. I am highly sensitive, which I have learned to embrace. And I am very independent. There are also other factors too that impact my low propensity to trust, like early childhood role models and experiences, beliefs and values, and even culture. I believe that trust is earned, and I will withhold it from you until I am doubly sure that you deserve it. And when it is broken in any way, well, good luck. And the very hard truth is this, and I can't even believe I'm about to say this, but hopefully this sets me free and you too. Trust issues cannot be fixed in isolation. We have to be in relationships, as scary and uncertain as they can be. Trust issues start in relationships and they have to be healed in relationships. Trust is at the foundation of every relationship. It is the emotional oxygen of human relationships. From the moment we are born, trust is being built or trust is being broken. One of the ways that mothers build trust with their babies is recognizing when their baby has a need and then meeting that need. Babies learn very quickly who they can and cannot trust. But the thing is, we are hardwired for trust and safety. God made us this way. We were wired for bonding and attachment. And if we develop in unhealthy ways, we can go through life wondering who's safe and who really likes me. But God made us to completely trust Him with our lives. But our trust gets broken with Him when it gets broken with people. We transfer that mistrust of people onto God. The narrative we believe about imperfect and fallible people becomes the narrative we believe about a perfect, infallible God. This is where so many of us live. This is where I can even live a lot of times. Not only that, the enemy presents doubt that we can trust God. But God continually proves Himself to be faithful and trustworthy. And God's proven track record should be what gives us hope in how He can work in our earthly relationships. Why is it so hard to trust God? Well, we already talked about not being able to trust people and how we transfer that mistrust or that narrative that we tell ourselves about people, we transfer that to God. But there are other reasons why it may be hard to trust God. Sometimes we just think God isn't listening and that He doesn't see us. We may think that God isn't going to do anything. And we may think that God is just being unfair. It's really easy to trust God when things are going our way, isn't it? When things are working in our favor. But even when things aren't working in our favor, they are still in our favor. God works everything out for the good of those who love Him and who are called according to His purpose. So why should you trust God? Here's a few reasons. 1, His track record of faithfulness. I don't really think that this needs an explanation, but we can read God's word to see how faithful He has been. Even in my own life, faithfulness is evident, although I do forget from time to time how He has kept me and saved me and protected me and disciplined me, all for my own good. Number 2, my own understanding will always lead me astray. My own understanding is typically tainted by sin. It's usually impulsive. It's based on fickle emotions, however valid they may seem in the moment, and full of unrealistic expectations that will never be met. Human understanding will always be subject to error. God knows and understands everything. His ways and thoughts are higher than ours. The reality is, I'm not always right. There is a way that seems right to man, according to Proverbs 14:12, but its end is the way of death. I don't have the full story. My knowledge is always partial and incomplete in comparison to God's. So why would I ever lean on an understanding that is partial, sinful, and clearly destructive? Forget about not trusting people. I can't even trust my own self. Putting my full trust in God helps me not to trust in my limitations that lead me astray. And the third reason why it's important to trust God is because He is sovereign. He is the sovereign authority over our lives. Period. Everything I am and everything I am not, everything that I do and everything that I don't do is because of the authority of God. I am not my own. In fact, I am nothing without Him. The sooner we submit in humility to His authority, the better our lives will be. Submission and acknowledgement is a form of trust. Proverbs 3:5 and 6 tells us so. God created me. He knows me better than anyone. And because He knows me fully, I can trust Him to lead me. Without submitting to His authority, I will surely jack up my life. Submitting and trusting God not only makes my path straight, but it heals me too. Broken trust with people can significantly affect our trust in God. The emotional pain and the skepticism resulting from betrayal can make it challenging to fully believe in and rely on God. However, by recognizing the distinction between human fallibility and divine reliability, and by seeking healing and openness, we can work towards rebuilding trust with God and with others.